you guys, welcome to Kemma's Never Seen It. I'm Kemma, and before we get down to business, just want to say welcome to 2025 and Happy New Year! I wore this shiny sequin disco ball shirt to bring in the new year. I reflect or look like a disco ball, and I thought it was fitting for today, even though New Year's was yesterday. I don't know how 2024 was for y'all, but I didn't have the best time. There were some good parts in there, so we're just moving forward. We're moving forward into 2025, and we're just going to hope for the best. Now to get into the video for today, the movie that I will be talking about is the movie Avatar. Not Avatar Last Airbender, even though I haven't seen that movie either. The first Avatar with the blue people. As always, let's see what this movie is about based on the DVD cover summary. A reluctant hero, an epic journey, a choice between the life he left behind and the incredible new world he's learned to call home. Return to James Cameron's Avatar, the greatest adventure of all time. I think it's kind of bold to say greatest adventure of all time when you're just putting out a movie. If I were to put out a movie, I think my summer would be like, oh, I'm putting out this movie and you might like it, but maybe I'm not too optimistic. But I just want to throw this out there to start. I do think this is a good movie, but this movie is so long. I know people complain and they say, oh, people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter as the days go on. And yeah, that may be true. And if that is true, why do you think I can sit through a 17-hour long movie? Okay, it was almost a full 3 hours. It was almost 3 hours. But oh my God, it was such a long movie. But what I will say is, personally, I don't think there was a lot of dead spaces in there. So it was pretty engaging to watch the whole movie. It was just long. To start off in the movie, we're in space, and I was a little confused, but we're in space. We start off with the character Jake Sully. He was a twin. Apparently his twin was this big PhD graduate and was really into science and like smart and really studied for the experiment they're going to be doing, but he ended up a week before they were about to fly out. So they were just like, he got a twin brother. We can throw him in there. And Jake is a Marine, not a vet though. He's still in there. So there's that. So after they have them wake up from their little pods and they're about to land on their mission, I guess you can say, they're unloading everyone. We find out that Jake is in a wheelchair, which I don't think they ever said how he got into, I know he's a Marine, I know he's in the military, but what happened to put him in a wheelchair? I don't think they ever said that, which is funny because it's a 3-hour long movie. But they get off the ship, and also some of the commentary that these military people do, especially throughout the movie, is like,
look at all this fresh meat. Woo! Check this out, man. Meals on wheels.
Look out, hot rod.
Might just give you a big wet kiss.
It's just kind of, yeah. And then his name is Miles, the big military captain person. Sorry if I'm getting all these titles wrong, but he is telling them all about what they're gonna do and their mission and what they're there for. And he's just like, listen, it's my job to protect all of you, keep you all alive, keep you all safe. That ain't gonna happen.
It is my job to keep you alive. I will not succeed. Not with all of you.
I laughed so hard at the guy in the background. He was just like, yo, hold up. This is your job, and wait a minute. I laughed so hard. I don't know if people noticed that when they first watched it, but I laughed so hard. Moving forward in the movie, we're introduced to Norm, and I know who Norm is. He played in the movie Dodgeball, and I actually really like that movie. So I was just like, not him growing from Dodgeball now to being this big scientist researcher person. Go ahead, Norm. And he's helping Jake, kind of look around everything. He introduces him to his Navi person, and he sees him floating around in the tank. So he's just like, oh, this looks just like my brother. And he's just like, no, it looks like you. They're twins. Then we're introduced to the scientist Grace, queen, let me say. She was a queen from her first introduction.
Who's got my goddamn cigarette?
As soon as she got out that tank and asked for a cigarette, I was just like, yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. And then we're introduced to Parker, who He's like the leader or helping with the military people to get that unobtainium medal that the Na'vi people have. And let me also just say this. This is just another case of attempted colonization and pillaging a place they know nothing about, don't care about for their resources. Let's just call a spade a spade. I don't like watching movies like that. I've watched plenty of movies like that growing up about history and similar situations, even for something fictional with the Na'vi people and this. I don't like it. I don't like how they talk about them. I know it's real and it has happened and does happen still in life now, but I don't like that. So all of his commentary throughout the movie, calling them savages and just like whatever people and just like discrediting them because they're different, they're of a different species. It's gross. It's really gross.
Now those savages are threatening our whole operation. We're on the brink of war. Just find out what the blue monkeys want.
These are people you're about to...
No. They're fly-bitten savages that live in a tree.
But I do think sometimes movies like this are important because there are some people who don't really engulf themselves in certain history for whatever reason. Won't get too much into that. But with fictional things like this, you can see, you know, stuff that has happened in history, but just through a fictional scenario. So at least some people can still see, hey, that's not right. That's crazy. And it's just like, yeah, imagine real life. But anyway, I'm not a history teacher. I'm not giving you a history lesson, all that kind of stuff. So let's just move on. After we're introduced to those people, they put Jake in that little chamber thing so that he could connect with his Na'vi person. And as soon as he connects with it, he's just like, oh, wait a minute. I got legs. Ran out the door. He was gone. Which again, I don't know how long he didn't have feeling in his legs or he was paralyzed or whatever the case may be. But as soon as he was able to have legs again, running, gone. I was just like, you just messed up the experiment before it even started. And also, let me just say, Na'vi people are tall. Like they're anywhere from 9 to 10 feet tall. Na'vi people make Shaq look like he's 4'6". That's insane. Na'vi people are kind of tall. Then we're introduced to Trudy. She's like the pilot who mans all the stuff. And I didn't take a good look at her, but at first glance, I thought she was Gina Rodriguez. And when I looked up the actual actress, her name was Michelle Rodriguez. And I was just like, this name sounds so familiar. And the only thing that I can think about was...
Just give me heebie-jeebies.
But then I realized they're not the same person. So I was just like, never mind. It's just the last name, not the same person. The military captain man says that they can get Jake his legs back as soon as the mission is done. So as long as he completes it, they'll make sure that he has his real legs and function in his legs. And I was just like, interesting, but okay. Moving on into the mission, let's see. Jake is trigger happy because he's a military dude, so anything that just looks abnormal, of course he wants to shoot it down. But Grace is in there with him, and she's just like, yo, chill out, and just kind of navigating through what to do, what not to do. They ended up losing him in the forest, so he had to stay there overnight while they went back to the lab. While he's there fighting for his life, we're introduced to Neytiri, who is the main Avatar girl that we're gonna be working with here. She was gonna kill him, but then she ended up saving him because of those dandelion things, which I think are so cute. But those dandelion things like went on her bow and arrow, and it was just like, don't do that. So she ended up saving him, and then she's just like, yo, you're stupid. I didn't have to kill those things, but because of you, I did. And then she was gonna leave him behind, but the dandelion things went on his body, so she was just like, fine. Follow me, I'll bring you to the family. Then we're introduced to the tribe. He meets the mother, the father, Sute. I almost forgot his name. We're introduced to Sute and just everyone in there. And I also want to know if there's a significance to the braids, because Neytiri was rocking knotless. But is there a reason for the braids, or they just do it in their free time? They just braid each other's hair. I want to know that. Jake wakes up, he gets back to the lab, he's just like, oh, they think I'm one of their own, they're gonna teach me the ways, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. The Parker dude is happy, he's just like, good, this tree has all the stuff that we need, you know, do what you gotta do so we can get that tree and get all of their resources. The military dude, Miles, is just like, hey, you got 3 months to do this, and then you'll get your legs. Also, I'm so sorry, I forgot. He does logs every time that he comes out of the chamber. The first one he did was May 19th, 2154. So again, he has 3 months to complete this mission. And speaking of his reports, I mean, I had to like rewatch some of these parts because this man was just mumbling through these things. Like, just mumbling through his video reports. Open your mouth, enunciate. But anyway, he goes back and forth in the thing. They're teaching him their language, teaching him how to hunt. He gets his own ikran, which those things are so cool. He gets his own ikran. He's learning. He's, you know, being indoctrinated with the people and everything's great. He comes back. He's just like, listen, I'm one of them. We're good. And there was a point where Miles was just like, listen, you already got in there and you did what you needed to do. We can send you off tonight, get you your legs. Jake is just like, nope, I'm gonna finish what I started. I have my ceremony tonight. We're gonna finish this. This part didn't make too much sense to me, how it kind of turned around, because he said, no, I gotta finish what I gotta do and then I'll go get my legs. He gets back into the chamber. He does his whole ceremony where he's like one of the people and all that kind of stuff. Neytiri takes him to the Tree of Voices, or like prayer forest or whatever. Then all of a sudden he's just like, I love you. We need to be together. What? It just switched like that. And I don't know how that happened all of a sudden. She's just showing him around and being like, this is our Tree of Voices. You know, you can talk to the ancestors, da 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 da. And then she's just like, you also, since you're one of us, you can find a mate or whatever. And he's just like, well, I don't want them. Girl, I don't want them. And then they ended up mating in the Tree of Voices. And just look at my reaction, my heartfelt reaction to it. Yawn. Oh, I just loved it. I loved it so much. It was great. I also think it's crazy to catch feelings during an experiment, because I don't know where the lines got blurred in that moment, but at some point he was just like, I'm literally one of these people, not a human, on a mission, trying to destroy this whole tribe. So I don't know, that was a little confusing to me, but hey, I mean, I guess in 3 hours they didn't know how to make that make sense. So as soon as they mate, they hook up and stuff, the people come to bulldoze their town, and then Jake and Grace have to go back and say, listen, the sky people are coming. They're gonna do this. You have to leave. Jake is just like, I'm sorry, but originally I was put on a mission to do this. I've had a change of heart. And everyone's just like, you did what? So then they tie him and Grace up. They're trying to fight off the military people, but it's hard because they just got bow and arrows and things like that, and not really much know-withal. They don't have much knowledge on how to really defeat them. The mom ends up untying Jake and Grace so that they can help. The father ends up dying. It's just the whole thing is a mess. Grace ended up dying. They tried to save her with the roots and the trees, and they couldn't save her. Oh my God, I was so upset. Once all of that dies down, Jake comes back and he's just like, listen, I know you guys don't want to hear from me right now, but this is what we got to do. So he gives them all a plan of what they're going to do. The military people come back. They start fighting. They're actually more successful. Who else helps? Norm, Trudy, they're all helping on the side of the Navi people. So yeah, that whole battle ensues, and it's like a bunch of craziness. They killed Neytiri's Ikran. I was very sad. They killed Sute. Oh my God, I was so upset. Just a lot was going on. And in my head, I was just like, where are the animals at? Where are the rhinos? Where are the hyenas? Where are all the animals at? As soon as I said that, they came and they helped out with defeating some of the military people, which was great because they needed that. I don't know where they were the whole time, but they needed that. Then the military guy comes and his like big, cyborg machine thing comes down. Ends up fighting with Neytiri. Jake's just like, you leave her alone. He fights with Jake. Blase. He ends up dying, the military guy. Neytiri goes to Jake's echo chamber, saves him with the oxygen. They see each other. Yeah. So the Navi people won. Parker is just like, you think this is over? it ain't over. And they're just like, get out of here. Get out of here. They drive all of them out. Jake's last log was on August 24th, 2154. And he's just like, all right, now I got my last ceremony. And then we ended on a suspenseful eye-opening moment. My mouth literally dropped when that happened because I was just like, you are leaving the movie on a cliffhanger? Not that I was able to do more than 3 hours, but like, what? And then turns out the movie didn't come out till 13 years later, the second movie. So it's just like, you did all, okay. But all in all, I did enjoy this movie. It was long, but it wasn't long-winded, if that makes any sense. Again, this movie was brought out in 2009. The 3D technology that they used and all of that, like, was so unheard of for the time. It really changed how film moving forward was seen. And I remember hearing things about that when the movie had came out. I just never saw it. According to Rotten Tomatoes, it got an 81%. And I think that's pretty fair. I do think that it was a good movie. I think it could have been cut down. I do think even though there weren't too many filler parts, they could have cut some stuff out. They could have cut that out. It had a budget of $237 million. Opening weekend, what did it say? $77 million. And then worldwide, $2.7 billion. So the movie did all right. I guess the movie did all right. I guess the movie did okay. All in all, a great movie. I know nothing about the second movie, so maybe I'll dive more into that one and see what that one is about. But if it's any inclination to what the first one is, I think I would enjoy it. That's the video, y'all. That is the video. First video 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, share, and comment what you think. If there's anything in this movie that you think I didn't touch on that you want to hear my thoughts about, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know. All in the comments below. I'll be back next week with another movie. Don't worry. I'm gonna be here. We're gonna keep this train rolling. If you have any recommendations of any movies that you would like me to watch or like me to review, go ahead and leave a comment about that too. Other than that, Happy New Year, everyone. Get those vision boards, those vision bingo cards done, those resolutions that you wanna do, or simply just live 2025 however you want to. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.